Hi guys, it's Ashley or Ashy Kitty. So the National Duck Stamp competition has come and gone at this point, but leading up to it, I remembered an idea I had last year around the same time. I thought it would be really silly to do like a duck stamp, but with a rubber duck instead of a real duck. So obviously, this isn't a real entry for the duck stamp competition because, they only accept certain breeds of duck each year. And obviously, a rubber duck isn't a real duck, but I still wanted to make this art. So the only like painting medium I've ever really used is watercolor. I mean, I've done like acrylic stuff sometimes, and I have like my paint pens, but for this, I decided to use watercolor, and I decided to use my largest watercolor paper. I think I don't know, it's like 15 by 19 or something like that. So that made it a lot more challenging, honestly. So I really just did my usual process for watercolor paintings. I, sketched it out, and then after I had, the basic forms sketched out, I went in with my Prismacolor pencils to do line art. And I really kept it just really basic because I knew I was probably going to fill it in with paint. My life has been a little bit hectic, and especially around this time I was working on this piece was hectic, and it still continues to be hectic, but I had to do this art in my room at the time, and for some reason I decided to do it sitting on my bedroom floor instead of my desk. So some of the filming might look a little weird. Here's the thing about my watercolors that I usually use. They're just a random set that I bought a while ago at Hobby Lobby, I think. I don't even know if they still sell like this specific set. And it's not like they're not like top quality. It's obviously like more, I don't know if they're student grade or just regular like medium grade art art supplies. I prefer the panned watercolors, and I've really only started using them in like the past year or so. So what I'm saying is they usually work fine enough. Usually I'm doing a lot smaller pieces, but usually they work pretty fine enough. But for this piece, I found them to just be wildly problematic, uh, specifically the blues. I don't know what was going on. Alright, so I did a lot of touch-ups off camera. I don't even think you can tell. I don't know. I truly do not know what's going on with my blue watercolors. I just cannot get them, even and nice. So we're just gonna move on from that. We're gonna stop touching it because I'm going to destroy this if I keep touching it. So this is where we're at right now. Eventually, I had to call it quits on that because I was just worried that the paper was going to disintegrate into thin air. So I moved on to gouache after the watercolor, which is usually what I do. I'd say like 90% of the time when I'm doing a watercolor piece. I have those jelly gouache, Himi gouache, and like my watercolors, they're definitely not like high end art supply, and they can be a little bit problematic. That's why I tend to use them in conjunction with my watercolors, because I find that they're really hard to get one flat color with, so they work best if there's like a base color down. Like always, the gouache really helped me like pull out and define details that were a little bit lost in the watercolor stage, and it really helps like make stuff pop and like bring out details and stuff. And I did try and fix up the background a little bit where the watercolor didn't cooperate, but it's a little bit tricky with the gouache because they are more opaque. So I was trying not to like make it like one blob, I guess. And then lastly, I just went in with my Prismacolor pencils again to clean up some of the details because I do feel like with the watercolor, some of the pencil did get like rubbed away, which might have been part of my problem with like the patchiness or like anything getting muddy because I was using a brown Prismacolor. So, I feel like they just kind of melted into the watercolor. I might have gone overboard a little bit. I was going over the top corners because I felt like they were a little bit empty and awkward. So that is my rubber duck stamp in honor of the National Duck Stamp Competition that happened last month, I believe. It's definitely not on par with a lot of the submissions that you would see that would be entered for that, but I never plan on entering. But despite my difficulties, I do really like this piece. I do see, like, compositionally, there are some problems in my mind. Like specifically those top two corners being so empty. I probably should have put something in the background. But it's fine. It's just a fun little piece, so it's not a big deal. Funnily enough, rubber ducks are kind of a big thing around my town. I'm sure that's not like a unique thing to some towns or cities. But I feel like this might be a good piece in my portfolio for if I ever get the chance to like sell at like an art market or something around my town. And if it doesn't look that bad, like printed small, I think it'd be really cute as like a mini sticker, like a real stamp. So yeah, that was just my fun little ducky stamp art. I was hoping to get this video out a lot sooner than I did, but a little update in my life. So one, while I was working on this project, we got kittens, which I will have another video out about that at some point. But we got kittens. You saw them at some point during this video, and so that was a little crazy. And then at the beginning of this month, October, my mom fell and broke her ankle. So I haven't had a lot of free time to do videos because I've been helping out with that. But I'm hoping, it's kind of, winding down a little bit just because, it's been a couple weeks and my mom's getting stronger. She's actually, as I'm filming this voiceover, she's actually getting her full cast on because she's been in like a splint for 2 or 3 weeks at this point. So I'm hoping I will be able to have some more time to work on videos here in the next couple weeks, hopefully. In the meantime, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this art. Have you ever thought about joining the National Duck Stamp Competition? I know it's a big thing now on TikTok every year, or at least the side of TikTok I'm on. I don't think I'll ever enter. I'm just not like super into like hyper realistic painting. So, but I think this was a fun little, homage to that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Go check out some other videos. I'll probably put one at the end of this video, and like, comment, and subscribe if you so feel. Bye. I'll see you in the next one.